Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back or for joining me. My name is Joanna and I am your intuitive medium and intuitive coach. These are going to be your readings for the month of May. I'm going to keep this very short and very brief. I want to say first and foremost, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for liking, for sharing, for subscribing to my videos. Please keep in mind these are general videos, so they may not apply to you. Some parts may apply to you, sometimes the entire thing may apply to you, and sometimes none of it will apply to you, and that's okay. Do watch your rising sign, your moon sign, and your sun sign, because these will often create a much clearer picture of what's going on in your life or how it's reflected in your particular case. If you would like a private session, that information is down below for you, and always remember that if you send me an email regarding how the readings pertain to you, I have no way of knowing that until I actually connect with you when I have a session with you. So if that is what you wish, that information is down below for you. Aside from the fact that May feels very significant, but I think I always say that everything is very significant, but there are some planetary changes happening in the month of May. The planet of Uranus is entering the sign of Taurus, and with that comes significant changes for the next little while. So be prepared to shift, to change, to evolve, to become much more enlightened, and a lot of the readings do reflect that. So without further ado, thank you so much again. Let's move on to your individual readings. I will see you soon. Hello, beautiful Aries. This is going to be a reading for the month of May 2018. Let me go through some information that I received when I was meditating on you. Right off the bat, when I started to connect with your energy for the energy of Aries, I was shown the sign and symbol of education and knowledge. So some of you will be propelled to learn a new skill, learn a new way of doing things, acquiring more information on a subject of your liking, or retraining. There is something that's being offered to you, or you are going to pursue in the month of May or thereabouts in the month of May. So I saw this as being presented to you. I also felt that some of you will be presenting some information or knowledge to others. So this could be, you might be I just heard the word summit. So maybe you're going to a summit and information will be presented to you, or you will be attending a summit and you will be presenting information. This could also be workshops. This could be information gathering sessions, whatever that may mean for you. Education and knowledge came forward. Many of you are starting a health kick. I saw, well, that's what I saw, you starting a health kick. So whether it is adopting a brand new diet, adopting a brand new way of looking at yourself, adopting a brand new way of working out or working out, health kick was shown to me quite prominently. It also combines with the idea of cleanse. So for those of you who are on a health kick, this has to do with you wanting to cleanse, or you are adopting some sort of a cleanse. This is cleanse that's physical, but also emotional and spiritual. So the idea of cleanse was being presented. So maybe for some of you need to get on a health kick because you need to cleanse. So that's also something that's coming up. What I also saw was forgiveness. The symbol of forgiveness was being shown in order, for the purpose of you going back in time and seeing if there is some unresolved issues you have with someone in your past, or many someones in your past. And the idea of forgiveness comes forward for the purpose of you releasing yourself from the quote-unquote damaging emotional attachment. And then I hear the word self-esteem. So for those of you who have attachments to someone or some situation in the past that have eroded the way you feel about yourself and your confidence, you're being asked to consider the idea of forgiveness. I always say forgiveness is not about excusing behavior. Forgiveness is about choosing to no longer be affected by what happened in the past. So that is something that is coming up. when I saw the word forgiveness, it also showed me that once you allow yourself to go through that process, you will go back to feeling like an emperor. So emperor is someone who is, well, a leader of his own domain, and he is in charge. So many of you may feel that you are not in charge, and that probably has some residual energies from your past. For some of you, this is about control. You may feel like you are not in control of your life, or you or other people are in control of you. Again, you know, when we are under somebody's control, it is almost always because we give the control to that person. So I know it's not black and white, but that's being highlighted for some of you. The cards that represent your focus, actually, yes, before I go to the focus, I asked for a animal spirit card for you. You got the elk. And the moment I saw this card, I felt I wanted to say, don't get your ego get the best of you. So some of you may be dealing with a situation where wherever you are or whatever is presented to you is digging into your lack of self-esteem or lack of confidence, which may trigger you to be a little bit aggressive. And I know this is very specific, but for those of you who are meant to hear it, you'll understand. He's asking me to give an example. Okay. Let's say you're working at a job and you're hoping for a promotion, but you're not ready. You know you're not ready. And knowing that you're not ready, you also know that you are holding yourself back. So you apply for a position and you don't get the promotion, and your boss comes to you and says, hey, you did a really good job, but this candidate, has a little bit more experience, try next time. So instead of you hearing it, you hear it, but inside you go, ugh, and your ego gets really hurt. So that's an example he's asking me to give. If that makes sense to you, notice if there is any residual energy from the past that's keeping you stuck, that's making you feel like you are not in control, okay? The card that symbolizes your focus is actually brilliant because the card is called Why. This is about being very honest with yourself and very aware of what drives you, why you do what you do, why you want to accomplish something, why you want to be that person. Because whenever we aim for something, there's always an underlying emotional component that needs to be satisfied. A lot of the time we chase things and we don't understand why we chase them, and then when we get them, we're not satisfied. That's because the underlying condition has not been satisfied. Example, and I think I've given this example before. For example, if someone wants to be famous and their idea is, I just want to be famous, and you ask them, well, why do you want to be famous? Well, I don't know. I want people to get to know me. But then you start digging into the deeper aspect of that person. You realize that the very reason why they want to feel famous is because they're looking desperately from recognition from outside. And we know how that works. When we are fueled only and solely by what other people tell us we are, or by judgments of others, we're never in a position to truly feel within ourselves and very empowered, because we're always relying on outside resources to tell us who we are. So the other version of this is to be empowered within, so that when one is famous and things are not always, rosy, your ego won't get destroyed, because you will be coming from a much stronger place within you, like the Emperor. The next card you have is Go Distance. This is about looking at things long term. This is about focusing on long-term direction. So if you are looking to change a career, make a long-term plan, but number one, understand why you want change. If you are trying to escape, any change that you get will eventually meet you where you came from. In other words, situations often repeat themselves unless we resolve them on an emotional level, and that requires the understanding why. So the message here is focus on long-term, not short-term, payouts. So that's That's the message card. Now, what are you leaving behind? Very interesting. You have 3 cards that popped out, and I asked for clarification. You have King of Cups in reverse, you have Emperor, and you have Justice in reverse. And when I look at this, it tells me that many of you are leaving a time where you have felt emotionally unfulfilled. You may have felt moody, unsatisfied, maybe even a little bit depressed. What I'm also hearing here is that some of you are leaving behind a situation where you have felt like you were not in control, or someone else was in control of you. This could be an organization, this could be work situation, this could be a relationship, it could be anything. But there seems to be a lack of recognition, lack of feeling in control. I feel like I'm just kind of going with what I'm being told. Justice in reverse to me says that you felt things were unfair. So you may have been in a situation where you felt you didn't feel in control and somebody very much was in control of you, or you felt that way and it didn't feel just to you. Now, I asked for clarification, and I have faith in this deck, or the is it a Hierophant? See, I'm not really good with cards. What is 5? A Hierophant, yes. So this is a religion, this is association, this is some organization you felt was either in control of you, or you have given up your control to that organization. Obviously, when we give up control, when we give up ourselves, then things go sideways, hence why Justice in reverse. So there's an inequality symbolized by this. This can also signify some sort of legal situation that was not working out or was not fair, but there's some unjust situation on unfairness. At least it is what you feel. You're leaving this behind. That is fantastic. What's upcoming? You have the Empress in reverse. So what this is showing me is that you are in the process of expansion, or you're on the way there. You're not there yet. So what this is showing me is that in the month of May, you may feel like things are not moving the way you want them to, but that is temporary. So what I want to say for the month of May, for those of you who this resonates with, spend time on focusing what it is that you want. Why do you want what you want? Plan for your future long term. Don't look for short-term gratification. Look for long-term sustainability. This could also be regarding a relationship. Try not to get your ego get out of your way, but you are very much someone who, when in a balanced state, is a father, is a leader, someone who's very dependable, someone who's very solid. So I feel like for many of you, you don't feel that, whether it's in a job, whether it's in a family, whether it's in whatever situation it may be. I feel you don't feel that, and maybe that's why the Justice is shown in reverse as it pertains to the past. But if you are feeling slightly on the short end of the stick in the month of May, I'm going to say it that way, know that it's temporary. So this will become this very soon. And I want to say the words June or July. So this could be, you might be starting something new in the month of June or July. You might be retraining for a new job. There seems to be a bit of a standstill. Can I use that word? I'm going to use a pause, a slight pause. Now, what's a little bit further down the road? So 2 cards showed up. You have 5 of Cups in reverse, and you have 2 of Cups. So for some of you, you will be letting go of some sort of a relationship that is ending. And we have that because you are moving away from something that wasn't working right. Some of you may have felt stuck in a job, and it looks like May or a little bit after May. Again, I want to say June and July. You will be moving away from a set of circumstances that are not working. Yes, this could be a relationship. Yes, this could be a job. Yes, this could be a friendship. This could be anything, an organization perhaps. And you are choosing to let it go. what I'm also being shown is many of you in the month of June or so, between June and August, you will come full circle and you will be able to look back and understand the reasons why. Interesting, because you have this card of asking your questions why. So if this makes no sense to you right now, why things are happening, what's the reason, in a very short order, things will make sense to you. If you are wondering why there is no giving and receiving, where there is lack, because this is very much an abundance card, if there is stifled creativity, if you feel that in the month of May, you will understand why shortly after. Sometimes we have to go through a moment of stillness in order to prepare and be ready for something new. Now, we did talk about education, so some of you may be preparing for something that will bring results down the road. For some of you, and this could be financial, for some of you, this is a moment of pause when you need to go deep inside and figure out some things about you in order to start fresh and new. And I always say, when we create, and we create all the time, without knowing, when we create consciously, we have much greater chance of achieving that which we are looking for. So if we have a lot of crap behind us in our past and we are emotionally still connected to that crap, and if that crap is causing us to feel a certain way that is not complementary to what it is that we want to receive, you better start looking at those aspects of you, recognize what they are, shift your concept and your perception so that you can start consciously creating that which you want. So for some of you, if you have had jobs where you were very unsatisfied and you're still there, ask yourself the question, if I hate it so much, why am I still there? Well, the obvious question would be because of money. Yes, absolutely. But the next question could be, all right, is there anything else that you can do to make a living? Of course, the answer is yes, because it's almost impossible if the answer would be no. Of course, there is always a way. The other question is to ask, if we are constantly in a situation that we hate and we keep doing it, the other question to ask, and this is a very interesting question, it's to ask yourself, how is the situation serving me? And most people would say, well, it doesn't. And I would say, it does. You just don't know because you haven't thought about it. If it didn't serve you, you wouldn't do it. So sometimes we want to be angry and sometimes we want to stay stuck. It's illogical, but we do it. Why? A lot of it is because it's a comfort zone. A lot of it is because we are still stuck in the past, and feeling angry or feeling gives us the reason to keep fighting. And we humans do it all the time without even knowing. But I think I'm going on a tangent here. Point is, many of you are going through a cleanse process. Now, forgiveness, that's the word that's being shown again. Because it was shown before, because of what I talked about here, many of you may need to forgive yourself for the things you are, the things you are not, the things you've done or you think you haven't done, whatever it is. Forgiveness is a big theme this month. And I've been feeling this around me, around my clients. So if that makes sense to you, take a pause and ask yourself some pretty deep, important questions. And those questions may highlight some things in you that you either didn't want to look at or didn't know existed. And I always say having more clarity expands your view of the world. And when you have an expanded view of the world, you have much more opportunity to create the things that you like. And I think that's all I have. The word that I want to say here is be generous to yourself. This is a message of self-nurture. If you are always doing things for others, it's important to recognize yourself first. I always say that. So for those of you who are workaholics, or for those of you who give to others over and over, it's time to take a break and start nurturing you. Particularly if you are one of those people who has a tendency to look to the outside for validation. Remember, you don't want to do that. yeah, so that's all I want to have. That's all I want to say. I hope this made sense. Of course, it makes no sense to me other than the words. Let me know if it does make sense. I love reading your comments, and thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and yeah, and writing. Thank you so much. If you like a private session, that information is down below for you. Once again, I wish you a wonderful month of May, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.